6:47 here with the Sunrise Smart Start for Monday. Our top stories. A significant response expected after 3 U.S. service members were killed. Dozens of others were injured in a drone strike on U.S. forces in Jordan near the border with Syria. At least 34 personnel have been evaluated for possible traumatic brain injuries as a result. That attack happened early in the morning Sunday. President Biden blames Iran-backed groups for the assault, the first deadly strike on American forces since the Israel-Hamas war started in October.
This is the first time that we've seen fatalities of U.S. service members, and that's absolutely not going to be something that this administration or the Pentagon takes lightly. That is going to prompt a response. Whether or not that's a tipping point to a much wider escalation will depend on, of course, the character of that response.
That attack, a major escalation of the already tense situation in the Middle East. While the U.S. maintains a line that the country is not at war, it has been retaliating against Iran-backed groups in Iraq and Syria, carrying out strikes against Yemen's Houthi military capabilities as well. To Washington, federal lawmakers are finalizing a bipartisan immigration deal. It's already drawing reaction from the GOP frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, who has come out against the measure despite no details being officially released yet. President Biden says the legislation has been in the works for months, and if signed, it would immediately let him shut down the border and, quote, fix it quickly. It comes as House Republicans get ready to impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, over what they say is his mishandling of the crisis at the border. Happening today locally, the trial for the man accused of setting a mother of 5 on fire in Rochester, killing her last year. 54-year-old Troy Parker back in court as testimony resumes. He pleaded not guilty to charges of second-degree murder and arson. He's accused of burning Fantasia Stone, a 38-year-old woman, alive in a fire at her apartment on Jefferson Avenue last spring. The prosecutor says Parker sprayed Stone with the lighter fluid and started the flames, while the defense says it was another man, one of the prosecution's witnesses, who's responsible for the killing. Testimony will pick up again at 9:30. Also in court around that time, 2 men charged in a series of robberies, shootings, and a homicide in Rochester in the fall of 2021. In this case, arrested, it's Robert Perdue, Matthew Williams, James Scott Jr., and Quincy Brumfield, accused of carrying out the robbery, gun and shooting crimes and the murder of 23-year-old Davison Bratcher. All of them face more than 20 charges combined. It's Perdue and Williams in court today. That hearing at 9:30. This marks the start of tax season. Today, the department and IRS will begin processing returns. Your employers have until the 31st to send out your W-2 so you can start your process. A reminder from state officials, you can use New York's free file service to submit your taxes if you qualify. Meantime, the IRS says submitting electronically and with direct deposit, that is the quickest way and smoothest way to get your refund if you are getting one. Taxes are due April 15th unless you file for an extension. Taking a look now at the Bullshead Redevelopment in Rochester. Develop Rock has revealed the plans for that. Staff tell News 8 they are planning a 100-count market rate and affordable housing unit total, commercial developments, potential urban farming facilities, a new grocery store, and a lot of green space, and all of that should be walkable.
We are really looking at creating connectivity between the streets and the neighborhoods. We are looking at creating parks and places for people to common areas for people to congregate, and then also, we are fortunate that the street team of the city is also working on creating, basically completely redesigning the streets such that it will be much more conducive for pedestrians.
Bike lanes will also be there as they install them. Develop Rock says the demo on the main plaza should start in the spring. Remediation would follow. Construction of the new ESL branch in that area also begins in the spring. There's another public meeting for the Bullshead project coming up February 27th. Trouble on the ice. The Sabers did start out with a good trip out west, picking up 4 out of 6 points in California. And the younger line for the kids was on fire. J.J. Peterka with 4 goals in 3 games. Dylan Cousins with 2 and Jack Quinn with 1. The only problem, we might not see that line back together for quite some time. Quinn went down with a hard hit. Landed on his left leg right there against the boards. So that's the same leg that he had a torn Achilles on before the season. Head coach Don Granado says he doesn't know the full extent of the injury at this point, but this is certainly not day to day. Inside the Buffalo huddle, the Bills made their decision when it comes to the offensive coordinator. They keep the same guy there, Joe Brady, taking the interim tag off his title, giving him the permanent position. He took over halfway through the season calling plays. Buffalo went 7-2 with Brady at the helm. Josh Allen said last week at the end of the season press conference that Brady helped really improve the running game as they got back to the basics on that side of the ball. Brandon Beane, the GM, liked what he saw from Brady and talked about how it is tough for anyone to take over, especially in the middle of a season. The Bills' former offensive coordinator, who was fired at that point, is going to Cleveland. Ken Dorsey is headed to the Browns to take over their offense with a good line and some nice weapons there. The challenge for him, though, is revitalizing the career of their quarterback, Deshaun Watson. The Super Bowl matchup is set. You've got a team that hasn't won a title in nearly 3 decades, another that's one Lombardi away from cementing itself as a dynasty. In the AFC title game, Chiefs in Baltimore, there's Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce to Taylor Swift early on for the first touchdown. Lamar Jackson, incredible, the league MVP probably this year. He throws one deep for 42 yards. That's a touchdown for Baltimore. The Chiefs would end up holding on, though. This game stays low scoring, even though the Ravens pick up a field goal late. Final 17-10. Patrick Mahomes is off to his 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 years. To California, Santa Clara, Lions taking on the 49ers. Detroit came out hot, looked like they'd be running away. 24-7 was the lead at halftime. They fell apart after that as San Francisco bounces back, scoring 17 points in the third. The Lions couldn't do anything. The Niners would get their first lead with some luck here on that incredible bounce. And a field goal later, they pull off the 17-point comeback to win this thriller, 34-31. And San Francisco is your early favorite by 1 point over the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in Vegas in 13 days' time. This morning, we are checking in with the Frederick Douglass Robotics team that competed in a qualifying tournament in Rochester and did so well, made it on to the next level regionals down the thruway. Aron Spitzer joined the team for a practice session over the weekend and has this preview. Aron.
Brennan, the team called Rhythm Robotics not only made it to the next round, they also placed first in the robot game category for innovation and robot design. They also won the Champions Award for the best overall performance by any team. The goal of the team's innovation project was spreading the word about robotics. They did this by creating a social media page. As for the robot game, it's a table game where their robot has to complete missions like moving something from side to side or picking something up and then setting it down. Between missions, the team has to fix the robot or enhance it for the next part, something the team says is very exciting.
Your time, there's a lot of people like cheering you on, and it's very adrenaline. It gives you a lot of adrenaline, and yeah, it definitely, sometimes you're a bit nervous, but you got to get through it.
We troubleshoot a lot of things. Like a lot of things. We probably went over 100 troubleshoots by now.
We won the last one, so I'm just thinking we put a little bit more work, we might win the next one.
The team will compete at regionals on February 10th in Buffalo. Brennan, back to you.
Ron, thank you. I love that. Troubleshoot a lot of things.
I need to emphasize how much troubleshooting was done in this project.
Yes.
It's a really important skill to have, to be able to troubleshoot.
And good luck with them. We covered it when they qualified, and we'll see how they do in Buffalo.
Yes.
Weather headed out. Everyone back to work, back to school.
Yeah, I just poked my head outside. There are some side streets covered in snow.
Yeah.
Could be a little bit slick around your car if you haven't touched it in a while. Probably covered in snow. It's very slushy as well. Numbers hanging out in the lower 30s. We'll peak out about 34, 35 degrees. This is all lake effect, so it should fade as we get to about noontime. Drop into the 20s tonight. Tomorrow, pretty quiet, cloudy, upper 30s. Same with Wednesday as well. All the action packed at the end of the week, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, those lows for the weekend. And we're back with more news and weather in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings coming your way at 7.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.